love, lust, and loyalty. Oh, dear God, pause, do we even know the difference anymore? So many of you listening to me right now, you're looking for love, you're searching, you're yearning, you're crying inside. And nobody knows, but I know, and more than that, he knows. Real love isn't found in a warm touch. It's not found in a stolen moment. It's not hidden in flattery or in the promises of men who don't know how to keep them. Oh no, love is a person. Love walked this earth. Love wore sandals and wept at a tomb. Love stretched out his arms and died. Voice softens to a whisper, and I feel his presence here right now. Lust, my dear, is the great counterfeit. It's the lie wrapped in silk and satin. It thrills for a moment, then leaves you emptier than before. It whispers, "This is what you want." But it never tells you what it will cost. It never tells you how much of your soul it will steal. And some of you right now are walking in lust and calling it love. You're giving yourself away for crumbs when the Lord has prepared a banquet table for you. Oh, Jesus, my heart breaks for you because he loves you so much. He wants more for you, and now we come to loyalty. Sweet, rare, precious loyalty. Loyalty isn't tested in comfort. It's proven in trial. It shows up when things are hard, when the feelings fade, when the storm comes. Loyalty is what kept Jesus on that cross, not nails, but loyalty to the Father, loyalty to you, and he's asking, will you be loyal to me, not just on Sundays, not just when it feels good, but when no one is watching, when it hurts, when you're tempted, when you're lonely, when lust knocks on the door of your heart and offers you something cheap in exchange for something eternal. Choose him, choose love, choose the one who is always loyal to you, even when you weren't loyal to him. Lift your hands right now, wherever you are, let him fill your heart again, not with lust, not with false love, but with his Spirit, with real love, because where there is true love, there is loyalty. There is Jesus, and it is never too late to return to him. He's waiting. True love is not a fleeting feeling or a romantic fantasy. It's not the butterflies in your stomach or the temporary high from someone's attention. True love is deeper. It is steady, sacrificial, and eternal, and it's found fully and only in the person of Jesus Christ. When Jesus walked the earth, he didn't love people based on what they could offer him. He loved the broken, the rejected, the outcasts, the ones others had thrown away. He didn't need them to be perfect. He just loved them, not because of who they were, but because of who he is. On the cross, he showed us the fullest expression of love, not by speaking about it, but by laying down his life. While we were still sinners, while we were still unfaithful, he chose to die for us. That is love that doesn't run away when things get hard. That is love that sees every failure, every shameful secret, every hidden sin, and still says you're worth it. True love isn't based on attraction or performance. It's not earned. It's freely given. The world tells us love has to be deserved, but Jesus teaches us that love is grace. His love heals the wounds others left behind. His love fills the emptiness no human ever could. His love restores the soul and gives you a new identity, not as someone used, but as someone chosen, forgiven, and redeemed. In a world that confuses lust with love, Jesus stands apart. He doesn't want something from you. He wants something for you. He wants to give you his peace, his joy, his presence. And when you truly encounter his love, you'll never settle for the counterfeit again. Many people walk into relationships thinking they've found love, when in truth, they've only found lust. It feels intense. It feels exciting. There's a rush, a thrill, an urgency that makes it seem real, but it's not rooted in truth, only in desire. Lust demands, it consumes, it's focused on what it can get, not what it can give. And when it doesn't get what it wants, it leaves. Lust wears the mask of love. It speaks the right words, mimics affection, and makes promises it has no intention of keeping. It knows how to stir the emotions, how to touch the body, but it cannot touch the soul. It is momentary. It fades with time, with pressure, with disappointment. And when it goes, it leaves people feeling used, empty, and confused, wondering why what felt so powerful didn't last. Real love is patient, but lust is impatient. Lust rushes. It doesn't wait for commitment or care about consequences. It urges people to cross boundaries, to give away pieces of themselves they were never meant to trade for validation. It calls out in the night, loud and tempting, but it can't hold you when you're broken. It can't protect you when you're vulnerable. It can't cover you in grace when shame comes knocking. So many hearts have been shattered because they mistook lust for love. They gave their trust, their time, their bodies, believing someone truly cared, only to discover that once the thrill was gone, so was the person. That's because lust never had roots. It never had substance. It never had the selfless, enduring nature of real love. It's a painful lesson, but it's also a wake-up call to stop chasing feelings and start seeking truth. Because when you understand what real love looks like, lust loses its grip. You begin to see clearly. You begin to crave something deeper, something that doesn't just stir the senses but anchors the soul. Love gives freely without conditions, without keeping score. It thinks first of the other person, their needs, their well-being, their heart. Love sacrifices, love serves. It says, I'm here for you not because of what you do for me, but because I choose you. Love is generous, always looking to build up, to protect, to honor. It doesn't demand, it doesn't manipulate, it doesn't pressure. It gives space, it gives time, it gives grace. Lust, on the other hand, only knows how to take. It sees people as objects, not souls. It asks, what can I get from you? It's driven by appetite, by self-gratification, by impulse. Lust is not interested in commitment, in growth, in real connection. It's interested in satisfaction, now fast, without cost. And when it's done taking what it wants, it leaves. It doesn't care about the damage left behind. Love is rooted in respect. It listens, it waits, it values the other person's boundaries, their story, their pace. It's slow to anger, quick to forgive. It builds something lasting, something sacred. But lust rushes, it pushes, it crosses lines in the name of desire, never considering the long-term impact. Lust treats affection like currency, something to be earned or exchanged, not a gift to be treasured. Love brings life. It brings peace, clarity, safety. You don't walk away from love feeling ashamed or empty. You walk away stronger, more whole, but lust drains. It leaves people questioning their worth, wondering why they feel hollow. Because lust takes more than just time or attention. It takes pieces of the heart. In the end, one fills you up and the other wears you down. Love builds, lust breaks. One is eternal, the other is momentary. And only one can truly satisfy the soul. God sees what no one else sees. He hears the silent prayers, the ones you don't even have the strength to speak out loud. He knows the tears you cry in the dark when no one is around and everything feels too heavy. He understands the ache beneath the smile, the longing hidden behind the busyness, the deep cry of your heart that says, is there more? Does anyone really see me? You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. You can have the right words, the right image, the right appearance, and still be empty on the inside. But God is not fooled by appearances. He doesn't look at your performance, your accomplishments, or your failures. He looks at your heart, and when he sees your pain, he doesn't pull away. He draws near. There is nothing too hidden for him, nothing too broken, nothing too shameful. He knows the places where you feel unworthy, where you've been rejected, where you've settled for less because you were afraid you didn't deserve more. And still, he loves you completely, not the version of you that has it all together, but the real you, the tired you, the unsure you. God doesn't just hear your words, he hears your silence. He understands the language of tears, the meaning behind your sighs. Every longing for real love, every hope you've buried, every disappointment you've carried, he knows. And he cares more deeply than you can imagine. You don't have to beg for his attention. You already have it. He's not distant. He's not indifferent. He's near to the broken-hearted. He's present in your pain. He's listening right now, and he's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be honest, because when you bring him the deep cries of your heart, he doesn't turn away. He leans in. Lust comes dressed in beauty, in thrill, in promise. It looks appealing, exciting, even harmless. It whispers that you deserve this moment, that no one has to know, that it will fill the emptiness inside. But what it never tells you is the price you'll pay after it's over. Lust doesn't show you the regret waiting on the other side. It hides the damage until the damage is already done. It speaks to your loneliness, your need to be wanted, your hunger for connection. And it offers something quick and easy. But it's a false solution. It gives a counterfeit version of intimacy, one that touches the body but bypasses the heart. And when it's over, you're left with less than you started with, less peace, less clarity, less confidence in your worth. Lust doesn't stay, it doesn't build, it doesn't protect. It takes what it wants and then disappears, leaving you to pick up the pieces. It never tells you how it can affect your view of yourself, your ability to trust, your ability to love in a healthy, whole way. It doesn't show you how it can create patterns that are hard to break, how it can numb your spirit, distract your mind, and pull you further and further from who you were created to be. It offers freedom, but delivers bondage. It promises satisfaction, but leaves you craving more. It acts like a gift, but it's a trap. Subtle, silent, and seductive. And often, by the time you realize what it's cost you, something inside has already been wounded. But the truth is, lust doesn't have the final say. Even when it's taken something from you, God can restore what's been lost. But first, you have to recognize that what looked like love was never love at all. Only then can healing begin, and only then can you walk away from the lie and back into the truth. Loyalty is one of the most precious qualities a person can carry, yet it has become so rare in a world where convenience often comes before commitment. It's easy to be loyal when everything is going well, when feelings are strong, when benefits are flowing. But real loyalty shows up in the silence, in the testing, in the unseen moments where no applause is given and no rewards are promised. It's a quiet strength, a steady presence. Loyalty says, I'm still here when others walk away. It stands firm when emotions fade, when challenges arise, when promises are tested. It doesn't abandon when someone is at their weakest. It doesn't run when things become difficult. Loyalty holds on, not out of obligation, but out of love and conviction. It is not blind devotion, nor is it based on perfection. Loyalty can see flaws and still remain. It's grounded in character, not convenience. It reflects the heart of God, because he himself is the most loyal of all. Even when we fail him, he remains faithful. Even when we wander, he pursues. His loyalty is unshakable, undeserved, and constant. In relationships, loyalty builds trust. In friendship, it brings security. In faith, it becomes a testimony. It is loyalty that keeps a marriage strong, a friendship lasting, a ministry pure. And it is loyalty to God that sustains us when the world pulls in every other direction. This kind of loyalty cannot be faked. It's lived. It's proven over time in action, in sacrifice, in silence. And though the world may not value it the way it once did, in heaven, loyalty is honored. It is holy. It is weighty, and when you find it, or live it, you are walking in something sacred. It wasn't the nails that held Jesus to the cross. It was his loyalty, loyalty to the Father, loyalty to the mission. Loyalty to us. At any moment he could have called down legions of angels. He could have stopped the suffering, silenced the mockers, and stepped off the cross. But he didn't. He stayed. Not because he was powerless, but because he was faithful. He stayed because he saw the joy set before him, the redemption of humanity, the healing of our souls, the restoration of what was lost in Eden. He saw you. He saw your pain, your sin, your struggle, and he chose to endure it all, because love without loyalty is just a word. But his love was loyal unto death. Jesus didn't flinch in the face of betrayal. He didn't retreat when the crowd that once praised him turned against him. He didn't withdraw when the weight of the world's sin pressed on his shoulders. He walked straight into agony, not because he deserved it, but because we did. And he was determined to make a way back for us. His loyalty was not conditional. It wasn't based on our goodness or our response. He remained loyal even to the ones who abandoned him, who denied him, who nailed him there. That's the kind of loyalty that breaks chains and softens the hardest hearts. It's the kind of loyalty that says, even when you don't choose me, I still choose you. And even now, that same loyalty remains. He intercedes for us, stands by us, forgives us over and over. He doesn't quit when we fall short. He doesn't give up when we don't get it right. His loyalty is constant, unwavering, eternal. And it's that loyalty that brought us salvation, not just in word, but in blood. Jesus' loyalty kept him on the cross when everything in his flesh was torn, when the pain was unbearable, when even the Father turned his face away. It wasn't obligation that held him there. It wasn't the force of Roman soldiers or the fear of men. It was love, loyal covenant, keeping love, that would not walk away from the very people who had walked away from him. He had nothing to prove and everything to give. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he could have chosen another path. He could have said no. He even asked, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. But his loyalty to the Father's will and to our redemption made him say, nevertheless, not my will but yours be done. That's not just surrender, that's fierce, holy loyalty. Every insult hurled at him, every lash of the whip, every drop of blood was soaked in loyalty. Loyalty that saw beyond the moment. Loyalty that looked past the betrayal, past the mocking crowds, past the pain. Loyalty that said, they are worth it. You were worth it. He didn't wait for you to clean yourself up. He didn't demand that you earn his love. He bore the full weight of sin because he refused to abandon the mission. He stayed when he could have left. He gave when he could have saved himself. He bled when he could have walked away untouched. That is the depth of his loyalty, one that goes beyond human understanding, one that doesn't flinch in the face of suffering, one that never turns its back on the beloved. And that same loyalty didn't end at the cross. It followed you into every dark place, every failure, every distant season of your life. It calls to you even now, not in anger, not in condemnation, but with the same faithful love that once chose nails over escape. Loyalty must be shown to God above all, because he is the source of everything we are and everything we have. When loyalty is divided, when we try to serve two masters, our hearts become restless and our paths uncertain. God desires our whole heart, undivided, unreserved, unwavering. He doesn't want a portion of our time or affection. He wants all of it. To be loyal to God means to place Him first in every decision, every relationship, every desire. It means choosing Him even when the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. It means holding fast to His truth when it's easier to follow the crowd, and trusting His promises even when they seem far away. Loyalty to God is not always popular. Sometimes it costs friendships, opportunities, and comforts, but it never costs your soul. God's loyalty to us is perfect and complete, and He calls us to reflect that same faithfulness back to Him. It's not a loyalty based on fear or obligation, but on love, deep, abiding love that recognizes who God is and what He has done. When you are loyal to God, you are anchored in something eternal, something that cannot be shaken by trials, temptations, or disappointments. Loyalty to God shapes how we live, how we love others, how we face hardship. It creates a foundation that cannot be moved. When you are loyal to God above all, you begin to see everything else in your life through His eyes. Your priorities change, your desires realign, and your purpose becomes clear. You begin to walk in freedom, not because the world promises it, but because God's presence sustains you. In a world full of shifting loyalties and broken promises, God's call for loyalty is a call to be faithful, to stand firm, to be steadfast in love. And when you answer that call, you become part of something greater than yourself, a story of grace, redemption, and everlasting faithfulness. There is a call, a gentle, persistent call, that reaches into the depths of every heart, inviting us to return to God's love. No matter how far you've wandered, no matter how many times you've turned away or been caught in the snares of brokenness, that call is still there. It's not a call of condemnation or judgment, but a call of mercy and grace. God is waiting with open arms, ready to welcome you home. Sometimes we get lost in the noise of the world, chasing after things that promise fulfillment, but only leave us empty. We look for love in all the wrong places. Relationships that hurt, pleasures that fade, approval that disappoints. And when those things fail, when the pain becomes too much to bear, that call to come back to God becomes louder, clearer. It's a call that says, you don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to carry this burden alone. It's an invitation to lay down your regrets, your guilt, your shame, and to receive a love that is unconditional, a love that restores, renews, and heals. God's love is not based on what you've done or haven't done. It's based on who He is. And He never stops loving, never stops pursuing, never stops longing for your heart. The moment you respond to that call, everything begins to change. The past loses its hold. The weight of failure begins to lift. You find hope where there was despair, peace where there was turmoil, and joy where there was emptiness. Returning to God's love is not just a one-time decision. It's a daily surrender, a continual coming back, a journey of healing and transformation. No matter how broken you feel, no matter how many times you've fallen, God's call to return is stronger than any mistake you've made. It's a call to new beginnings, to fresh mercy, to the embrace of a Father who loves you beyond measure. And when you answer that call, you step into the fullness of life that only His love can give. There is a deep emptiness inside that no person, no possession, no pleasure can truly fill. We try to cover it up with distractions, with achievements, with relationships, but the void remains. It's a longing woven into the very fabric of our souls, a longing that points to something greater than ourselves. That emptiness is a signal, a signpost, a whisper from God that says, I am the only one who can satisfy this hunger. Only God can fill that emptiness because He created us with a purpose and planted within us a need for connection with Him. When we try to fill that space with anything else, it never lasts. Temporary fixes, whether fame, fortune, or fleeting affections, leave us feeling more hollow than before. But when we open our hearts to God, when we invite His Spirit to dwell within us, something miraculous happens. The emptiness begins to dissolve, replaced by peace, joy, and a profound sense of belonging. God's love is not distant or conditional. He is near, ready to fill every broken place, every ache, every loneliness. He offers Himself as living water that quenches thirst forever. The more you drink from His well, the more full you become, not just with temporary happiness, but with eternal satisfaction that sustains you through every trial. This filling is not about ignoring the pain or pretending the emptiness doesn't exist. It's about bringing it honestly before God and allowing Him to heal what's been wounded. Only He can restore your soul, renew your hope, and give you a purpose that outshines every disappointment. When you experience the fullness of God's presence, you no longer need to seek approval or love from the world. You become rooted in something unshakable, something eternal. The emptiness inside is replaced by a divine fullness, joy and peace that surpasses understanding. And that is the only true satisfaction this life can offer. As we stand today, faced with the realities of love, lust, and loyalty, let us remember that true love begins and ends with God. It is His love that heals our wounds, fills our emptiness, and teaches us what loyalty truly means. Lust may tempt us with momentary pleasure, but only God's love brings lasting fulfillment. Loyalty to Him grounds us in faithfulness when the world around us is ever changing. So, no matter where you are on your journey, whether lost in lust, seeking love, or striving for loyalty, know this: God's arms are open wide, inviting you to come home, to be restored, and to walk in the fullness of His love. Let His love be the foundation of your life, the light that guides your heart, and the source of your deepest joy.